Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa barik wa sallim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Sihat semua pula. How is everyone? Good? Alhamdulillah. I'm nervous. I didn't see the crowd because I was seated in front of Ustazah Unaisa and Ustazah Nurhana. So we, from the front, we cannot see the beautiful ladies behind us. So now that I can see all of you, Assalamualaikum everybody. Hope you've had your dinner. First of all, before I start my sharing session, I would like to thank Muiz Adil for inviting me and for having me tonight. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Second of all, I would like to invite. Did I say thank or invite? Did I say invite? I said thank. I want to personally thank Muiz Adil for inviting me tonight and for allowing me for this opportunity to share on this great platform. Some, inshallah, I hope, beneficial lessons from the great Sayyidah Aisyah radiallahu anha. Secondly, I would like to thank Ustazah Nurhana Irwan and Ustazah Unaisa for accompanying me tonight on this stage. Last but not least, I would like to thank every single one of you seated here. Because if not, I think it's just going to be a talk show between the Asatiza, right? Me talking about her talking about me. So the fact that all of you spend your time, your precious time with us tonight, thank you so much. I truly appreciate your presence. Okay, so tonight's topic is about Sayyidah Aisyah radiallahu anha. This should be the, yes, it works. Let me try again. How do I back it? Yes, okay. So the topic for tonight is about breaking boundaries. It's about doing things that perhaps you have to go out of the bubble. It's perhaps doing things that you never imagined yourself doing. It's about doing things that perhaps you have written a list of to-do lists, but after 10 kilogram of confidence and perhaps 5 different types of slaps from your best friend, and then finally you will do that particular list. It's about doing things that you think you can never do, but you don't know until you have actually done it. Okay, so this is a very, very, I would say, difficult topic. It's very challenging because I really want you guys to love Sayyidah Aisyah radiallahu anha as much as I already have. Okay, so I would say this is 2 hours. 2 hours talk is not enough for us to learn about how great Sayyidah Aisyah radiallahu anha was and is. But inshallah, Ustazah Hana and I, we will definitely try our best to give you the very special pointers so that inshallah with these few pointers, you will fall in love with Sayyidah Aisyah. Okay? So how Sayyidah Aisyah radiallahu anha changed the social landscape by being one of the prominent sources of knowledge. Beautiful. Okay, so I'll be sharing with you six important pointers that she has. And inshallah, these 6 very different pointers, if we really try hard to own it, if we learn the proper way to have it, inshallah, we are going to be on the same path. Inshallah, we are going to try to follow the footsteps of Sayyidah Aisyah radiallahu anha. 6 only. Can? I'm going to share with you 6, okay? I'm nervous. I don't know why. I think because all of you are like staring at me in the eyes like, what is your problem? You know, like, what is it that I want to break? I feel like I'm the broken being here. What am I saying? Anyway, next. Okay, so the first pointer. Is it okay if I move around camera? Is it okay? You guys have to like keep moving. All right. So the first pointer, or the first important trait that Sayyidah Aisyah radiallahu anha had that make her one very inspiring, very respected figure was that she was credible. Her credibility. Okay, you know, this is one of the very important traits that Asatiza, like for me, Ustazah Hana, Ustazah Unaisa, is very important for us to have credibility. If we want to talk about Islam, but you don't know the full fact about it, it is very dangerous. Because when you are representing Islam, you are representing a very important message. This is about your religion. If the fact that you are sharing, if the information that you are sharing with others is not credible, it's very problematic. Is dangerous. Okay, so one of the things that Sayyidah Aisyah radiallahu anha had that made everyone respected her was that she was credible. She knew her facts, she knew her information, and as long as there was a single doubt in her about that particular matter, she wouldn't say anything about it. That was how much she trusted her knowledge, and if there was an inch of doubt, she wouldn't proceed with sharing that information, which is something that I really, really, really want to try to follow. Okay, so if there was a single question that she's unsure about this particular matter, she wouldn't share about it until she finished full research on it. She really did her background checking. She's sure and confident of the information, and then she will share it with everyone who wants to know about the particular information. And look at her. Who was she? She was the Prophet ﷺ's companion. Abu Bakar was Prophet's companion. Ali bin Abi Talib was Prophet's companion. Who else was the Prophet's companion? Abu Hurairah was the Prophet's companion, right? She was not only the Prophet ﷺ's companion, she was also his wife, which means she knows a lot of special secrets about Prophet Muhammad ﷺ that happened in the house that the rest of the companions wouldn't have known. You know, the relationship between a husband and wife. She saw how Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was in her house, in her room. She has all this knowledge that other people out there who never actually lived with Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, they don't have this information. So the fact that she was a wife to the Prophet at such a young age, that gave her a lot of valuable lessons that she had about Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. So if you look at it, whatever she said, people will actually believe it. Because she lived in the same house with Prophet Muhammad, in the same room with Prophet Muhammad. So if she says A, B, C, D, everyone is going to believe it. Why? Because she's the wife of the Prophet. She's the daughter of Abu Bakar. Why wouldn't we believe her? But on her own individual record, she made sure, she's very sure about the content before she actually shares it with the world. So it's not about her status. It's not about whether she's the wife of the famous prophet or if she's the daughter of the beloved Abu Bakar. It's about her own integrity. If she's not sure about this information, she wouldn't share it with people. How do we relate this particular trait with us? Hashtag membawang. Hashtag, had to put a hashtag, Hashtag, there's some people cannot understand Malay here. Can I just see an audience who doesn't understand? Anyone who doesn't understand Malay here? Okay, so hashtag membawa means hashtag onioning, which means you say things about other people without knowing fully the facts. Okay, you're a fifth party. The first party said something to the second party party said something to the third party whispered something to the fourth party posted on Instagram, oh no, what happened to Alif Aziz? Na'udzubillah, okay, just saying that. Okay? We don't even know who Alif Aziz is, and we are here, we think we have the right to share the onion about what is happening in Alif Aziz's life. It's embarrassing. Who are we to talk about him? Right? All these celebrities online. Oh, Ustazah Hannah, Ustazah Liyana, Ustazah Unaiza. Like, we have this important information we have to share to the world. This is our responsibility to share. You have to check your facts first. If you're not sure, if there's an inch of ounce, you see the onions, so many ounces, right? An ounce of doubt, you have to make sure you fully check the facts first before you can actually spread it to anyone. Okay? Credibility. If you want to be someone as amazing as Sayyidah Aisyah, you have to make sure you are credible. The things you say out of your mouth is full of honesty. It's something that I want to try to follow. Because sometimes we think, and then you change. If people say you cannot say you think, it's not strong enough. I believe that this is, So you have to make sure that all the information that you have is solid truth, and then you can be confident to share with everyone. How do you make sure you reach that level of confidence? You ask around. One person, your best friend is not enough. Your best friend, will always support you. Yes, Alif Aziz is like that. Don't ask your mom. Your mom will always be biased towards you. Yes, I saw it too. You have to make sure the amount of people that you ask the information, whether it's factual or not, they are someone that they are themselves are credible, they themselves are honest, you can trust them. Okay, and again, I'm so sorry it's just an example. Okay, we pray for the mentioned person just now. Anyway, next one. Talking about credit, is this a pointer? Yes. You know that red laser? Can you guys see? Okay. She was also the student of Prophet Muhammad SAW for 9 years. This is beautiful. She was learning Islam from the Prophet and also from her father Abu Bakar and also from her mother. So beautiful. Next one, Imam Zuhri said, if knowledge of all men and the holy wives of the Prophet ﷺ, all of them are brought together, still the knowledge of Sayyidah Aisyah radiallahu anha will supersede all. When I read this, I'm like, oh, if I go to Wardah bookstore and I memorize and I try to absorb all the content of the books that are on Wardah bookstore, it's still nowhere near the level of knowledge that Sayyidah Aisyah radiallahu anha had. And this is one of our scholars. What did he say? What did Imam Zuhri say? If we were to bring forward together all the knowledge that all the men have and the holy wives of all the wives of the Prophet ﷺ had, we combine it together, it will still not be enough as the knowledge of Sayyidah Aisyah. I want to open this session by talking about knowledge. If you want to be as great as Sayyidah Aisyah, you learn, you study, you come to this event. You see, you're very near to, inshallah, trying to follow Sayyidah Aisya's footsteps. You learn about something. If you think you're done learning about this particular matter, learn about other particular matters. There are so many subjects. You can learn about tafsir, you can learn about hadiths, you can learn about the Islamic history of the Prophet. So many. Okay? So start learning. So the first pointer that I want you to bring home is what? Credibility. Slang sikit lah. Credibility. Credibility. Okay, next one. Bismillah. Trust. Trust. The companions during that time, the people around Sayyidah Aisyah, I feel like I'm not engaging to this group. Can I? No hard feelings It's the nearest to put my phone there. Very protective over my phone. Anyway, trust. I don't trust my phone is here. Anyway, I'll stop with it. This is talking about trust. The people during that time, they trusted Sayyidah Aisyah radiallahu anha. Even if her status was Rasulullah ﷺ's wife, the daughter of Abu Bakar, if she herself is not a trustworthy person, the companions would not go to her for anything. So people trusted her and she trusts herself. You know how people will usually come to us because they trust us with our secrets? But then 5 minutes later when they are gone, can I really be trusted with this secret? What am I going to do? I think I'm going to post it on Twitter. Twitter, nobody read what? Twitter. Right? Correct or not? People believe in you. They trust that you can really achieve something, accomplish something, but you yourself, you're having doubts with yourself. You just graduated from 1 year diploma course for, Islamic studies. And when you go out, when people ask you, what is the definition of this particular matter? What's the hukum of this particular matter, you see? Matter? Oh no, I'm sorry, I don't know. I only learned 1 year. You have to trust that you learned all that for the last 1 year. You have to have belief in yourself. You have to trust yourself. Once you have done a background check on this particular information, you have to trust that it's really factual information. So have the confidence to actually share it with everyone. So trust. If you want people to trust you, you have to trust yourself first. The companions wouldn't come to her and ask her for a certain specific question or answer if she herself doesn't have full trust in herself. She was confident in herself, and hence that beautiful positive vibe was spread throughout the companions, and they all come to her for advice. And this is a woman that we are talking about. For us here, no, you just have a session with an ustazah, and then 5 minutes later you go out of the door and then you say, I think I need a session with an ustad. You want me to wear songkok, is it? Then you have full trust in me, is it? This was Sayyidah Aisyah. Male companions came to her to ask her for advice about religious matter. Not because she was just the wife of the Prophet, because she was a scholar of her own. She has so much knowledge that people will come begging from her for knowledge. Just look at this. Abu Musa Al-Ashari, we all know who Abu Musa Al-Ashari was. If we companions of the Messenger of Allah, look at the description. We are the companions of the Prophet. If any of us has any difficulty on matter, we don't understand a particular matter, we don't understand a particular discussion, we would ask Sayyidah Aisyah radiallahu anha about it. So they would have their own views, they would have their own understanding, they would have their own belief in something, but they wouldn't proceed with that matter unless they have heard it from Sayyidah Aisyah, her point of view. Nak tak jadi macam ni? How do I translate that to English? You want to not be like this? Right? You see how important you are? You are so important that people wouldn't say it's true unless you say it's true. Look at the amount of credibility Sayyidah Aisyah radiallahu anha owned. And then, in another narration, whenever a report appeared to be doubtful to us, they convinced the doubt that they have in themselves through Sayyidah Aisyah. Any hesitation, ask Sayyidah Aisyah. Okay? We would ask Sayyidah Aisyah about it. We would always learn something from her about it. Beautiful. So trust. They trust that she would give the answers that they need. They trust that she would fill the gap of knowledge that they are lacking from. Trust. So what do we learn from trust? You have to trust yourself first. Trust that the information that you have is solid proof, is truth. And then you trust yourself enough to share it with everyone else. Okay? Trust. So the first one is credibility. The second one is trust. Okay, Ustazah Unaiza, please signal me if I'm going over the timing. Okay? Why am I panting? I have no idea. Next one. Leadership. This is where my heart is a little bit macam emo sikit. A little bit emotional. Leadership. Throughout my 27 years of being, alhamdulillah, a woman, I found myself still hesitating to do things that I think a woman shouldn't do. For example, having my own business and having a team of employees with men. My network, Liyana Musfirah network, is basically, I call it a network where I bridge women with different types of problems, and I connect all these women with problems with women who have expertise. So if you have mental problem, I will connect you with women who have expertise that help with mental problem. If you have problems at home, I will connect you with therapists, counselors that actually can help you with those problems at home. If you are someone you feel that are lacking in a specific subject of knowledge, I would actually refer you to this particular organization that helps you with this specific subject of knowledge. Okay, so when I started Liyana Musfirah Network, I told myself, I don't want any men. Hashtag all women. Hashtag women empowerment. Hashtag all the single ladies pula. Hashtag all the women go girl. Hashtag go girl. But then I realized a true leader is someone who actually give some credits to the right person. During the interview for a few staff of mine, there were actually a few that came to me saying that they wanted to work under my network. And if I was biased towards my very first principle, I would have chosen everyone to be women, correct? Everyone to be women. But it is very unfair for me to say no to someone just because he's a guy, despite his amazing, how do I say it, skill in that particular expertise. So this, when I read about this particular incident, it made me realize that Sayyidah Aisyah was a true leader because she wasn't biased to anyone. Okay, look at this example, okay? The elderly woman would feel shy back then. The old woman would feel very shy to ask the Prophet or to ask the ulama or the mashayikh about particular matters relating to women. They feel that they shouldn't ask about these sensitive matters relating to women. So what they would do is they would ask their young children to be the one asking the questions to their teachers. Still, the problems couldn't be explained. Therefore, when Sayyidah Aisyah knew about this system or this cycle about old women going through younger children to get their women-related questions answered, she said this to the women. I am your mother, Ummahatul Mu'minin. I am the mother of the believers. Therefore, do not hesitate and ask from me your queries afterwards. Aisyah radiallahu anha used to solve the problems and used to say Allah is more respectful. Still, He has explained the implicit matters. Therefore, you must ask the queries relating to religion more openly. So she said, if you have any doubt, don't be ashamed to ask. Look at Allah. If you say you want to protect, you want to respect yourself because these are sensitive questions about women, example, women menses, example, masturbation, na'uzubillah, all these kind of like very, very sensitive questions, correct? If you don't ask about what's the hukum of these particular things, how are you going to get the answer? So if you have any related women questions that goes back to Islam, you have to ask it. Okay, and then she said Allah is more respectful, and still He would explain all the implicit matters. Therefore, you must ask any question about religion openly. So she led the older women with respect, of course. All these women, they are much, much, much older than her, much, much more senior than her, and yet she led them to believing that it is okay for you to ask about anything that you have questions about religion. Okay? So leadership. So far everyone's okay? What's the first three that I covered just now? Credibility, the slang. Credibility, trust, and leadership. Very good. Oh, that's a live. Is that me? That's me. Oh, that is so cool. Okay. Number 4. Next one. Waiting on number 4. What am I waiting for? I'm waiting for me to change the slides. Number 4 is Astaghfirullahalazim. Life is unfair sometimes, and you just have to like pretend you know what you're doing. Let me try again. Okay. Number 4 is about Allahu Akbar, inspiration. You see, you have to use Allah. You have to use Allah's word to make magic happen. Allah's name to make magic happen. Inspiration. She was a source of inspiration to many, to hundreds and thousands, to millions of people actually. If you were not inspired by the name Sayyidah Aisyah radiallahu anha, you wouldn't be seated here. You are either inspired by her name, you are either inspired by the topic, or you're either inspired by Ustazah Hannah or me. I don't know. As long as you're inspired, welcome and congratulations. So the first thing that I want to cover from the story of inspiration, or from the point of inspiration, is this very special hadith. Quote. Okay lah. Okay? So one day, the first Umayyad Khalif Muawiyah, just focus on the name Muawiyah, one day, asked a man in his entourage, who is the most knowledgeable of all people? So Muawiyah was asking one of the men in his circle about who is the most knowledgeable person on this earth, of all these people. Okay, let's use the exact word, of all these people. So what did that man thought to himself? What did that man think to himself? Presumably calculating that giving that answer that he wanted to give might not be the most advantageous course of action. The man replied, the prince of the believers, it is you. It is you. Okay? So, but when the Khalif pressed him for a more honest response, he answered, well, if you insist, it is Sayyidah Aisyah radiallahu anha. So if we know, why did the man stop, or why did the man pause and told himself, maybe I shouldn't answer A? Because Muawiyah and Sayyidah Aisyah radiallahu anha had a few political disagreements. They had a few political disagreements that we will not discuss today, but they had a few disagreements that they cannot agree on together. So when Muawiyah was asking this man, please tell me who do you think is the most knowledgeable person today? The man said, the prince of believers, it is you. But after there was a pause. So there was a little bit of doubt there. So Muawiyah said, please give me your most honest answer. And what did the man say? For me, I believe it is Sayyidah Aisyah radiallahu anha. Okay? So she's a form of inspiration. Although this man is very close to Muawiyah, and he is very aware of the political disagreement between Muawiyah and Aisyah, but still he proceeded with his belief that Sayyidah Aisyah was indeed the most knowledgeable person of that time. So when I was looking at this particular story, I was telling myself, if you can inspire your enemies, it means you're doing a good thing. You know, all of us have a lot of enemies, right? Or some people call it #haters. Haters will hate. That's what they say, right? Haters will hate. Without that sound, right? Haters will hate. If you can be a source of inspiration, a source of goodness, if you can do something that make the people who hate you have even more radar eyes than they already have, means you're doing a good thing, means you're doing something right. Of course, if it's in the line of Sharia and in the lines of religion lah. Okay, so look at this. You are a source of inspiration, even if the people who hate you the most, they know you're doing something right. They know that you're doing something good. Okay, so you have to be a source of inspiration for many. Next one, Al-Ahnaf. What did Al-Ahnaf say? I have heard speeches, Allahu Akbar. I have heard speeches of Abu Bakar, Umar, Uthman and Ali, all the four Khalifah. I have heard all these amazing men, all of these amazing men's speeches, but I have not heard a speech more persuasive and more beautiful from the mouth of any person other than the mouth of Aisyah radiallahu anha. Look at the names that are being compared to on this particular statement. Those are gigantic names. Those are huge, mashallah, beloved, respected names. Those are the four caliphates of Islam. Abu Bakar, Umar, Ali and Uthman. And all these are being compared to our beloved Sayyidah Aisyah. They spoke about the religion. They spoke about the Prophet. But nothing was as beautiful and as persuasive. What does persuasive mean? Full of confidence. You can persuade someone with a certain form of truth. Like Sayyidah Aisyah. So even her speech was inspiring for a lot of people. Okay, so next one. How many already? How many already? For Ustazah, am I on track? How many more minutes? Okay, go on. Go on. Okay, so let's just try to summarize the first few pointers before we go ahead with the next few pointers. What's the first one? Credibility. You have to be fully 100% aware, fully aware of the, how do I say it? The factness, or the factness. Did I just say factness? I just invented a new word. The factual part of the information before you share it with others. Number two, you have to be trustworthy. You have to trust yourself, and then after you trust yourself, the people around you will eventually trust you, inshallah. Number three is leadership. Number four is inspiration, a source of inspiration to many millions of people. For us, inshallah, if you can be a source of inspiration to the people around you, your colleague, your children at home, your helper, every time she looks at you, she's inspired. MashaAllah, Bu. MashaAllah. Everyone can be inspired by you. Don't say that, oh, we need to be an influencer, we need to be someone on stage and we can be inspiring figures. No, on your everyday life, at work. At work, if, for example, you solat on time, every time before azan, you're already bentanging the sejadah and you zikir. There is a source of inspiration also. MashaAllah, she prays on time. And then when people ask you why, and then you share the hadith, do you know that the Prophet says it's good to pray on time, something like that? It's good. It can be a source of inspiration to many in very little ways. Another example to be a source of inspiration at work. You cook for your colleagues. You wake up in the morning, salam sis, I didn't sleep after subuh. I cook for you, boss. Please give me a pay raise. Inspiring with a little bit of twist. Still inspiring what? Your niyat and intention is very pure what? So cannot go there. You know, Sayyidah Aisyah was inspiring. I want to inspire you to wake up early in the morning, to not sleep after subuh and to cook for your colleagues. You see? 3 layers of inspiration. Okay, next one. This is something that I really want all of us to focus on, about how intelligent and how knowledgeable Sayyidah Aisyah radiallahu anha was. And it still goes back to the very first pointer that I share, which is credibility. It's all about education. It's all about absorbing as much ilmu as you can. Okay, if you think that the ilmu is light, you have no idea what that light and small ilmu can actually turn into something magical. Okay, so Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, another famous individual, said that 1/4 of the laws of Sharia are based on the traditions from Aisyah. Our Sharia, our law, 1/4 is based on what Sayyidah Aisyah narrated about what Prophet said, or what she learned from Prophet Muhammad. If we didn't get this huge chunk of information from her, how are we going to get this information from? Okay, next one. Okay, this is the famous. If you follow all of us, we know that Sayyidah Aisyah radiallahu anha was one of the many who contributed a lot of hadiths, right? So some say that she actually has contributed more than $2,000 pula, 2,000 hadiths, 2,000 prophetic narrations. What does that mean? Her memory was brilliant. She was very observant to what the Prophet said. She was very, how do we say it? She's very observant. She's very alert with what the Prophet say. And then she actually narrated more than 2,000 hadiths on a wide variety of topics: legal, ritual issues, theology, incidents from the life of the early community, and also things related to the Quran. Okay, next one. She is one of the 4 people who have transmitted more than 2,000 hadiths, the others being Abu Hurairah, Abdullah bin Umar, and Anas bin Malik. Okay, so I want to cover on the first part, this part. There was one incident when Ibn Umar was being told about a hadith that was narrated by Abu Hurairah. We all know, right? If you look at hadith, most of it starts with An Abi Hurairah radiallahu anha, An Abi Hurairah radiallahu anha. So we know Abu Hurairah was indeed a credible figure for us to learn hadith from, or for us to hear hadith from, correct? So there was one point of time when someone was relating a particular hadith to Ibn Umar. So this hadith was narrated by Abu Hurairah. Ibn Umar did not accept that particular information until he actually went to Khabbab, another companion, to check with Sayyidah Aisyah about this particular information. So this information came from Abu Hurairah, and Ibn Umar is also another narrator of hadith. But he did not proceed with this information until he has find a confirmation, until he has get a confirmation from Sayyidah Aisyah. And this is from Abu Hurairah. Abu Hurairah is one respected figure. Ibn Umar is another respected figure. But Ibn Umar still asked Khabbab to go to Sayyidah Aisyah, confirm the authenticity of this information before he actually endorsed it, before he actually said, okay, this indeed is what happened. So famous figures like Abu Hurairah, like Ibn Umar, they still go to Sayyidah Aisyah to convince that that particular information of theirs are indeed credible. Okay? Next one. Tak gerak Okay. This one is, I think, for some of us who read the book of Muwatta by Imam Malik, a well-known legally oriented book, attributed to early Muslim women transmitters. So 7% out of the entire content of Muwatta Imam Malik was actually from women, of which 83 traditions of the 7% was actually from Sayyidah Aisyah radiallahu anha. From my background, we consider this Imam Malik book, Muwatta book, to be really one of the very, very best books for you to really learn about religion. So when I found out that 7% of the information from that book was actually from women and 83 particular traditions were from Sayyidah Aisyah, I was truly inspired by this. So that's why I'm sharing it with you. Okay? Next one. This is beautiful. She developed the nickname of the mother of fragrance for every time a beggar knocked on her door, she would touch the money with perfume before giving it to him. So go back. I didn't say anything, I just said go back. Go back, buy attar. You don't buy lah ridiculous thing, I don't know lah. You buy from, I don't know, secret ni semua, right? Would not say the first part. You said it. I didn't say the first part of the name. Secret lah. You buy, I don't know. I think this is another inspiring thing to do. When you want to give sadaqah, that particular charity smells of you. Beautiful, right? Did you think it's beautiful? No. No one understands what I'm doing. So look at her. This is what Sayyidah Aisyah did. It doesn't mean that you have to spray the entire bottle and then everything, every step you step, oh, smell like Ustazah Liyana Musfirah. You don't have to do that. Then when I'm seated there, you can see like sense of attar tumpah spilled on the. No need to do that. She said the mother of fragrance. She wants. Is beautiful. I just find that just her on her own, and her little traits are just beautiful. So one of the things that I find it very different and very special and very unique about Sayyidah Aisyah was, what did she do? Before she give money to people, she will make sure it smells like the fragrance that she was using. If that inspires you, after you cook, you spray some fragrance on top of the Tupperware. So the whole colleague will know, the whole office will know, oh, Mariamah cooked this. Okay, next one. When asked why, she explained that charity would reach Allah before it reached the beggar's hands. You see, this is, mashallah, look at how sincere she was. It's not about making the whole entire office smell her and know that she was the one who gave the charity. It's about, look at how she actually justified her action. She justified her action. She believed what she was doing is right, and she justified her action. She believed in it. She hold on to it. For us, when people say, why you do that? No logic, you know. Why you do that? Ridiculous only. Oh, okay lah. Then the next day you don't do it anymore. If it's not wrong, go ahead with it. Why do you allow people around you to determine whether what you're doing is right or not? If you truly believe it's not going against religion, if you truly believe that's what you felt like doing, go ahead with it. When I started my company, Liyana Musfirah Network, people were saying, why your name? Tak ada nama lain ke? Tak ada nama lain in English is what, Ustazah Hana? No other name ah? It's like, why? I believe in it. What's wrong with putting my name? It's not that I'm pretending to, so I went ahead with it. Okay, not important. So I went ahead with it, despite so many people bashing. Okay, so look. The fragrance of the charity would reach Allah before it reached the beggar's hands, and she wanted the charity to be given to Allah in a very beautiful condition. MashaAllah. So after this, whenever I see you guys at Masjid Sultan, I will see everyone going around the donation box, everyone putting and sharing atar before you put before you put your money inside. Okay? Another beautiful example. In another report, a needy person on the door was knocking on her door. She only had one grape. One grape. And she gave it to that needy person. When she was asked about the value of a single grape was as a charity, she quoted, what did she quote? فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ. Beautiful. Beautiful. She said one single grape is also considered as a form of charity because of its goodness. The sincerity of she giving the grape. The sincerity of her, that's the last piece of grape, yet she gave it to the one who needs the most. Okay? So what makes it? She rationalized how many atoms are there in a grape. What I find very knowledgeable about Sayyidah Aisyah was that she knows how to justify her actions. She knows how to justify her actions. Look. What did she say? I give one single grape. For us, one grape tak payah, sudahlah, no need lah, it's just one grape. It's not even going to help the person become full. But look at her justification. Look at what Allah says in the Quran. And look at how many or how much atom, I didn't study chemistry, how much or how many, how many atoms are there in a grape. It's beautiful. This is another example. Okay, alright, next one. She was not afraid to talk back in order to find out the truth or make it known. And whenever she beat someone else in an argument, the Prophet ﷺ would smile and say, she is the daughter of Abu Bakar. And Musa bin Talha said, I have not seen anyone more eloquent than Aisyah radiallahu anha. By this, I mean, if you want to argue with someone, you do it with respect. You don't be like those keyboard warriors, go Facebook, Ustazah Liyana said, I need to argue and be like Sayyidah Aisyah. And then you send. You know nothing about religion. I know more than about religion because I attended Muiz Adil talk. If you want to come out with an argument, you do it with respect. You respect that other person has a different view than you. You respect that you have a different view of other people. And the approach has to be professional. The approach has to be correct. Just because you want to stand up for your right, that doesn't mean the approach that you're doing is wrong. The way has to be right. Your intention in standing up for the right thing is a pure intention. It's strong, it's confident, it's courageous of you. But the way, if you do it wrong, that's where everything's going to be wrong as well. So you have to make sure the intention, the way, the action also have to be in proper order. Okay? Next one. I believe this is my last one. Okay, this is about courage. This is about courage. Beautiful. Okay? This is a story about basically how she was jealous of Sayyidah Aisyah, which I think Ustazah Hana is going to cover it more about, that she was jealous of Sayyidah Khadijah. And then there was one part, kan, Ustazah Hana, she was saying, what do you love so much about this old Quraysh woman? You think the Prophet's wife not jealous, is it? When the Prophet marries so many people, you think they, mashallah, alhamdulillah, as long as I'm married, you think they are not, they are still women as us. I think one of the messages that I want to put here is that they are women as well. Is if they can have all these beautiful traits, so can we. Maybe not as perfect, like 100% that they have, but we can almost reach there, inshallah. Sayyidah Aisyah was one of the ones who were very jealous of Sayyidah Khadijah. She asked Prophet Muhammad, why do you still give Sayyidah Khadijah's relatives or neighbors presents? Why? Why do you love so much about this old Quraysh woman? She asked. And there were a few incidents about the honey, and I think Ustazah Hana is going to cover about that. She was jealous and she made it very clear to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For us, never mind, just keep it redha je. Pasrah je. Drama Nur pasrah. So I pun pasrah. I mean, come on, Sayyidah Aisyah was not happy about something and she voiced it out to Prophet Muhammad. What makes you think you suddenly want to be Sayyidah Nur? It's different. If you have something wrong that you don't like in your heart, you voice it out. But the proper way has to be there, with respect. Okay, you have to make sure about that. Lastly, I'm going to close with one thing. I'm going to close with one very particular incident. Okay, so there's this, astaghfirullahalazim. What's the name of the Sahaba? Masruq, yes. So there was a disagreement between Masruq and Sayyidah Aisyah radiallahu anha about the incident of Isra Mi'raj. Okay, so they were talking about how Masruq was saying that, during Isra Mi'raj, Prophet Muhammad actually see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Sayyidah Aisyah was debating, saying that no, he did not see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, so there was a little disagreement here. And one particular statement by Sayyidah Aisyah that made me really want to have more confidence in myself. And you should too, have more confidence in yourself, okay? She said, Ana awwal ladhi sa'ala anin Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam an dhalik. She said, I was the first person who actually asked Prophet Muhammad whether or not he actually met Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. She said that. And semua orang terdiam. Everyone was quiet. Can you imagine? She was talking. It was in the midst of argument, correct? And then Masruq said, no, I believe that perhaps there were a few ayats or perhaps there were a few signs that say Prophet really met Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala during Isra Miraj. And what was the angle, what was the response that Aisyah said? I am the first one, if it indeed happened, I am the first one who would make sure to ask Prophet that question. So she was saying that if I didn't get the answer that I wanted to get, then what about the rest of you guys? So when she said that I'm the first person who would ask Prophet about this particular matter, I felt that she's very inspiring, very inspiring. She trusts herself. She's not ashamed to share about what she thinks is right. And she makes sure throughout her lifetime that all versions of truths are never threatened. So I hope all these beautiful traits or principles we can try to put in our life. It's very simple. What's number one? Credibility, trust, leadership, inspiration, knowledge. You have to be very knowledgeable. 6, you have to have the courage. And to wrap it all 6 of them, you have to have the confidence in doing all of them. Thank you so much for your time, and I will see you for question and answer. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.